I've said it before, and I will say it again. Living with MS is hard. It is freaking hard, and it is stressful. And to make matters worse, stress can make our symptoms flare and may lead to relapses. There are several studies out there that show that there's a connection to relapse rates and stressful life events. In this review, they concluded that studies looking at the association of stress with relapses show a fairly consistent association, where high stress is associated with higher risk of relapse. Higher stress levels also appear to increase the risk of development of gadolinium-enhancing lesions. Yeah, no good. I'm actually really excited about today's topic because there are underutilized tools in our toolbox to help us deal with stress. They are mindfulness and meditation. Do you practice these regularly? Let me know in the comments below. I recently completed a 20-hour mindfulness-based certificate where I learned some really interesting things that I would like to share with you today. It turns out that regular mindfulness or meditation practices can have a big effect on our brains and our well-being. Researchers have found that practicing mindfulness and meditation can make measurable changes in our brains. In this study on the cortical thickness, the thickness of the outer layer of our brain that's typically thinner in people with MS and gets thinner as we age, they found the average cortical thickness of the 40 to 50-year-old meditation participants was similar to the average thickness of the 20 to 30-year-old meditators and controls, suggesting that regular practice of meditation may slow the rate of neural degeneration at this specific locus. One of the things that really stinks about living with MS is that our brains shrink faster than people without MS. So if we add a regular mindfulness and meditation practice, we may be able to stave off some of that shrinkage. Not only does meditation increase gray matter, it can help in other aspects as well. In this article on mindfulness and gray matter density, they shared that the results suggest that participation in mindfulness-based stress reduction is associated with changes in gray matter concentration in brain regions involved in learning and memory processes, emotional regulation, self-referential processing, and perspective taking. I don't know about you, but I approve of better memory, emotional regulation, and perspective taking. We could all use to have better perspective taking, right? Especially in these times where things are so volatile and emotions are running high. In another article about the neuroscience of mindfulness meditation, they say this: a number of changes in brain structure have been related to mindfulness meditation, and mindfulness practice enhances attention. The anterior cingulate cortex is the region associated with attention in which change in activity and/or structure in response to mindfulness meditation are most consistently reported. Enhances attention. Cognitive difficulties such as attention and concentration can be significantly impaired in people with MS. Cognitive difficulties is one of the leading reasons that we leave the workforce. When we meditate regularly, we can increase our focus by increasing our dopamine, one of the feel-good hormones. This increase in attention and focus can help us with daily tasks and help us to be better able to do our jobs. The article goes on to say research over the past 2 decades broadly supports the claim that mindfulness meditation, practiced widely for the reduction of stress and promotion of health, exerts beneficial effects on physical and mental health and cognitive performance. It can also help us with pain, and we all know that MS can be painful. In the 1970s, John Kabat-Zinn worked with 51 chronic pain patients who had not improved with traditional medical care, and he found that after 10 weeks of mindfulness-based stress reduction, that 65% of patients showed more than a third reduction in their pain, and 50% showed a reduction of 50% or more. Can you imagine the difference that makes in the life of people who experience chronic pain? Does anyone want less pain without medication? Yeah, me too. Another way that mindfulness can help people with MS is with depression. Depression is one of our symptoms. We're not depressed because we've been diagnosed. It's a clinical symptom of the disease. Some research shows that more than 50% of people with MS suffer from depression. Mindfulness-based stress reduction has been studied in people with depression and anxiety. And one study found that mindfulness-based stress reduction reduced anxiety, depression, and suicidal ideation in veterans. And another study found that mindfulness-based cognitive therapy was as effective as antidepressants for preventing depression relapse. How cool is that? And that's not all. When we practice mindfulness and meditation, our breathing changes. We breathe deeper and slower. This leads to health improvements as well. It can switch our nervous systems from sympathetic, alert and stressed, to parasympathetic, calm and relaxed. With regular meditation, we're less prone to be in fight or flight mode, and we handle stressful situations better. When we breathe slower and deeper, we can also reduce our blood pressure and help with our hearts as well. It improves our heart rate variability, which is a marker of how well our nervous systems adapt to stress. Another wonderful thing that happens when we meditate is it lowers our cortisol levels. When we're under chronic stress, these raised levels of cortisol can lead to anxiety, brain fog, and memory problems. Lowering our cortisol can help us to be more in control when we're under pressure. Having a regular mindfulness or meditation practice can help our brains, just like lifting weights regularly can help our muscles. It can help us to be more resilient, less prone to become stressed, strengthen our neural pathways, and even help our cortex to be thicker. There are two types that I find incredibly helpful. The first is focused attention meditation, where we focus on one thing, like our breath or use a mantra. It can help with attention control and impulse regulation. It helps us to remain focused. I definitely can have trouble focusing on one thing for any sustained period of time. I'm currently doing a guided meditation in the mornings that has a mantra that we use with it. My favorite is So Hum. It means I am. Focusing on just myself and who I am is incredibly helpful. The next is open mindfulness meditation. In this one, we practice observing our thoughts and emotions without reacting to them and looking at them non-judgmentally. This can help us to regulate our emotions and help to keep us from overthinking too much. This type of practice can help calm our amygdala. The amygdala is the part of the brain that's responsible for processing emotions such as fear and anxiety. It's like the danger detector, and it triggers the fight or flight response. When getting started with mindfulness or meditation, start with small, simple practices, such as taking 5 mindful breaths before getting out of bed. Bonus points if you do it with a smile on your face. It helps to set the tone for the day. When starting a formal practice, start with just a minute or two and then build over time. Try to use a tool to help you focus, like your breath or a mantra. And don't worry if you have thoughts. The point of our practice is not to stop our thoughts, but to become present. We can notice when the thoughts come, but then gently come back to our focus. Having thoughts come and go is completely normal, but try not to follow the thoughts into a big long story. Come back to the breath or the mantra. Sometimes it's helpful to envision thoughts as clouds as they pass by. We can notice them and just let them pass. Or as icons on our desktop or our phone. We can see them, but we don't need to click on them and launch the whole program. Speaking of apps, using apps can definitely help us when we practice. And I'll put some on the screen, and I will put links in the description below if you would like to check those out. To wrap up, a regular practice of mindfulness and meditation can change our physical brain and make it healthier. It can help us to lower stress hormones like cortisol and increase feel-good hormones like dopamine. It can help with pain management, and it can help with cognition, focus, and concentration. Do you have a meditation practice, or do you struggle with it? Let me know in the comments below. To see more on living well with MS and tips on diet and lifestyle changes, watch this video next. Please like and subscribe to support the channel, and until next time, be well.